and I'm the administrator of the Maryland Charity Campaign, better known as the MCC. So we have a lot of information to share with you today. We will be recording today's kickoff and posting it on our website at mcc.maryland.gov. So please make sure that you go back and view it just in case you missed something. At this time, I will request that everybody please mute your devices in order to minimize any disruptions for the recording. I would now like to welcome Katrina Jones, who will be singing our national anthem. We invite you to raise your voice in song and spirit from wherever you are. Katrina? Katrina, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
You are up, my dear.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran, the bells were singing, and gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much, Katrina, for that beautiful performance. Maybe everybody can join me in a virtual applause for Katrina. It's a lot of charge, Angie, for all of us, 500 strong. So, Katrina, thank you for sharing your talent so generously with us today. My name is Kathy Smith, and I am honored to be Maryland's Assistant Secretary of State. And I'm delighted that you're joining us for the 2022 MCC Kickoff. Today is the first day of our campaign. The online giving is open now and ready to accept your pledges and donations to one or more of the 927 participating charities. I am keenly aware of the enormous effort required to prepare for each year's campaign. To that end, special thanks to Lori Parks, our MCC administrator, and others who work diligently to ensure the campaign runs smoothly and that your donations are distributed to the charities. I know firsthand this is no small task. Last year, we exceeded our $2 million goal for more than 1,000 charities who qualified to participate. We're holding tight to this year's goal at $2 million. Each participating charity undertakes a huge lift to deliver programs and services to those in need. They rely on your generosity and mine to accomplish that. Imagine the need for these charities and the ever-increasing pleas for help they receive daily. Their commitment to fight disease, relieve pain and suffering, provide homes for the homeless, safe harbor for the abused, food for the hungry, resources for veterans, shelters for our furry friends, and art to enrich our souls are just a few of the causes that touch our hearts and enrich our souls and spirituality in and day out, year after year. Many of you have asked me over the last few years about my granddaughter, Maddie. I shared Maddie's story several years ago. A precious 7.5-month-old infant abruptly rushed to the ER. Hours after tests and anguish, she was ushered by ambulance in the bowels of the night to Hopkins, where she was diagnosed with a rare pediatric cancer. A tiny infant with a tumor the size of a cantaloupe. Imagine that for a minute, the size of a cantaloupe in a 7.5-month-old infant. The tumor covered her kidneys, ovaries, adrenal glands, blood vessels, and more. She ended up losing a kidney, and as you can imagine, the skill required to peel off the tumor off her organ, this tumor was as thin as finely sliced deli ham. Our precious infant endured 2 major surgeries, a bout of radiation, which was interrupted by another life-saving surgery, followed by another bout of radiation, which proceeded for months of chemo, and years of follow-up visits. I thank God from the bottom of my heart that today, Maddie has no evidence of disease. The journey that she and her dad and mom endured were heart-wrenching, but for the grace of God, there goes each and every one of us. Did you know that research on pediatric cancer reports that more children are lost to cancer in the U.S. than any other disease? In fact, more than many other childhood diseases combined. Before they turn 20, about 1 in 264 kids in the U.S. will have cancer. Worldwide, a child is diagnosed every 2 minutes. Think about that, every 2 minutes. So 6 children have already been diagnosed since we've been on this call. Heart-wrenching. But even kids who survive may have a battle ahead. When Maddie was diagnosed, her dad and mom were told that the very therapies essential to spare her life could result in lifelong damage. These tiny bodies often suffer secondary cancers and other diseases caused by the caustic drugs vital to survival. Research is discovering ways to mitigate and prevent devastating side effects. Recent studies show that because of the treatments they had as kids, by the time they're 50, more than 99% of the survivors will have a chronic health problem, and 96% have severe or life-threatening conditions. The data I shared comes from a few sources, including the National Cancer Institute and St. Baldrick's Foundation. Our son Pete, Maddie's dad, has shaved his head for years raising funds to find a cure for pediatric cancer. His high school and college buddies join alongside him, sporting shaved heads every year in honor of Maddie and scores of children diagnosed with this horrifying disease. Over the years, many of you reached out to ask how Maddie's doing. I am delighted to share that our precious infant, who endured the battle of a lifetime, turned 12 in July. Maddie is a 7th grader, middle schooler, a straight-A student, charming, lovely, feisty, sweet, kind, caring young lady who is an amazingly gifted artist. She did not get that artistic talent from me, by the way. Most importantly, I thank God every single day that Maddie is cured and has no evidence of disease. But it's not lost on me that child is diagnosed with cancer every 2 minutes, and another family's life is sent spinning as they too fall on their knees for a cure. I have tons of stories. You've heard one of mine today. Well, what's your story? What tugs at your heart? What inspires and nurtures your soul and your spirit? I'm confident that you will find that one or more of this year's 927 charities attend to the concerns heaviest on your heart or those that make your heart soar. I implore you to give even a little through the Maryland Charity Campaign. And to those of us to whom much has been given, please join me and give more if you can. The life you save may be your own or someone you love. If every single state employee and retiree gives just $2 of pay, we will meet and in fact exceed our $2 million goal. Every single dollar counts. So whether you give by check or credit card or payroll deduction, your donation has the capacity to make a profound impact. I think of and thank God for all those who donated to find a cure for Maddie. Where would we be without their generosity? The same is true for the causes that tug at your heart. This year's MCC theme has an impact on our state employees and retirees to donate. We are, without a doubt, mountain to shore, Maryland strong. Each year, the MCC kicks off with a video. I am deeply grateful to the Departments of Natural Resources, Public Safety and Correctional Services, and Juvenile Services as they joined forces to produce this year's video. Without further ado, please let's unveil the 2022 Maryland Charity Campaign video. David, whenever you're ready.
From mountain to shore, Maryland is a beautiful place to live. You can make Maryland even better by contributing to the Maryland Charity Campaign. Last year we raised $2 million, and this year we need your help to raise even more.
It's never been easier. Just $1 a pay period can provide meals to 74 hungry Maryland families or support over 1,000 worthy charities in our state. Please join me in supporting the Maryland Charities Campaign at mcc.maryland.gov to make a lasting change in the lives of Marylanders from mountain to shore.
From mountain to shore, Maryland is full of generous people who donate their time, money, and resources to give back to our communities. Every year since 1984, the Maryland Charity Campaign has tapped into that generous spirit by raising millions of dollars to help those in need. Learn how you can participate in this year's campaign, Mountain to Shore, Maryland Strong, by visiting mcc.maryland.gov. Thank you.
Millions of people experience a crisis every day across our great state, the nation, and the world. Through this year's Maryland Charity Campaign, we are blessed with more than 900 participating charities that strive to relieve suffering, bring a measure of peace and healing, and meet the needs of those they serve. In the past 7 years, nearly 75,000 of you have donated, and I'm asking you to join me again for this year's campaign, Mountain to Shore, Maryland Strong. Be part of the solution to address the suffering felt by so many and make a charitable gift today. It's easy. Just visit mcc.maryland.gov to support a charity close to your heart.
As a longtime supporter of the Maryland Charity Campaign, it always makes me proud that our state employees and retirees rise to the call and continue to give to those in need year after year. I thank each and every one of you who has supported the Maryland Charity Campaign and contributed to its success. Thank you for your generosity. I hope you will join me again this year or for the first time in supporting the efforts of the campaign and showing everyone that we are mountain to shore, Maryland strong. Please donate or pledge now to help us reach our $2 million goal.
Mountain to shore.
Maryland strong.
What a wonderful video. Thank you so much to everybody who contributed to the video. You know, we need not look any further than recent news to see the devastation that Hurricane Ian had in Florida, the Carolinas, all the way through. So please remember, giving from the bottom of your heart, help others is critical. So I hope you'll visit our website often and view the video again and check out our giving guide to find a charity important to you. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce you to Maryland's Deputy Secretary of State, Luis Barunda. Mr. Secretary.
Well, thank you, Kathy. That was an awesome video. And thanks to all of you who have given so generously and participated in last year's campaign. I hope you will continue to support the campaign this year and make this year yet another success. It is because of individuals like you that these charities can continue to thrive and provide support to our local communities across the nation and even worldwide. And it is because of individuals like you that we can be mountain to shore, Maryland strong. The campaign opens today, and I encourage you to give right away. Doing so increases your eligibility to win a randomly drawn prize this year, which I hear is going to be really, really awesome. So when you give, you are automatically entered each week into a drawing. I will just take liberty to say that I know that each and every one of you on the video today give because you care deeply and you love generously, and the prize is a great thing anyway. So the earlier you give, the more drawings you are entered into, and the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Give today. There are special prizes just for those of you who are giving online today. So do that. You can give by going to our website, www.mcc.maryland.gov, and click the Give Now button. The campaign ends on Monday, December 12th, so please be sure to participate before then. Anything you can give will help to these charities, and those they serve. And I thank you in advance for your generosity and your support for the causes that matter most to you. Together, we can make a positive impact, and together we can help. Will you join me in providing support to those in need? Will you join me in helping to lift up those important causes? Will you join me in providing for others suffering in our own communities? I gave through the Maryland Charity Campaign, and I hope you will join me in doing so as well. And I encourage your colleagues to join you and as well. Our collective effort makes a huge impact. So thanks again in advance for your generosity this year. At this time, I would like to introduce you to our 2022 Maryland Charity Campaign Vice Chairs who will serve as our senior leadership for the campaign. I am grateful to have Secretary Robert Green from the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services and Secretary Jeannie Hadaway-Riccio from the Department of Natural Resources as our vice chairs. And I invite them now to say a few words. So Secretary Green, would you take it away?
Certainly. Good afternoon, friends and colleagues. It's so great to see you all. As I got on this screen earlier at about 11:30 and watched this fill up. Wow. 500 participants now, and take notice, from mountain to shore, jurisdictions across our state, municipalities, city, you name it, everyone here popping up, coming in to understand more about what we are doing. So that is truly a testament to the outreach that's already occurred, and I hope just a strong predictor of what we are entering into and about to do. Colleagues, I know life is busy. This is a busy time for all of us. But I also note to each of you, it is not difficult to look left and right and in our communities and find individuals that are far less fortunate than you and I. It's in front of us every day. And I know this 500 plus people here enter this charities campaign in that spirit of giving. This kickoff today, now through Monday, December 12th, allows us this opportunity. And I just want to thank everyone involved in the Maryland Charities Campaign, because you're making it easy. You're making it accessible to us. We know life is busy and there are so many challenges ahead of us and things that we need to think about every day, but our moment is right now. And I would ask each of you to look at how easy, how accessible and efficient it is for us to engage this. A few facts and figures. I heard 927 charities represented. Wow. And going down that list, like my co-chair and I have had the opportunity to do and look at, there is absolutely something there, ladies and gentlemen, for each one of us, colleagues, that touches our heart, and is that story that perhaps your dollar a paycheck can make a difference. For me, it is truly, I have a charity that I am particularly fond of. I'm very fond of sports, and watching the look in individuals' eyes when you can make a difference in their life, provide such a meaningful gift that we often underestimate. There's a true joy that comes from that. And while we're asking each of you to give, I know there are many on this call, probably all of you, that not only follow your monetary giving with the giving of your time. And again, a true joy that comes from that. So that dollar a paycheck can make such a tremendous impact. Another fact and figure, Maryland, we rank among one of the most generous states in the country. Second, according to U.S. News and Wallet Hub. I don't know about you, but I find that to be I'm very proud of that. And I find it to be very humbling that our state embraces and has that level of charity. And I know it comes from each of you, mountain to shore. It was once said that we make a living by what we get. We make a life and a difference by what we give. So to that end, I am really excited to be part of this for the coming months. Very excited to continue with all of you to engage and make a difference. I know many of our departments across the state and colleagues are already coming up with incredible ideas. In addition to what's presented here through the Maryland Charities Campaign of how we can individually, collectively, departmentally support the Maryland Charities Campaign. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my co-chair for a few words, Secretary Jeannie Hadaway Riccio. Thanks for all you do.
Secretary, you're on mute.
Apologies. Sorry, someone was joining the meeting right when I hit the mute button. Well, let me just start over again and thank Secretary Green. It's really an honor to serve with him as this year's co-vice chair for the Maryland Charity Campaign. And I could not agree with him more about the importance of giving. I do want to go off script for 2 seconds and just thank Katrina again for sharing her beautiful talents with us today. And Kathleen, thank you for sharing that powerful story. If those two things don't inspire you today, I don't know what will. So thank you both very much for that. And from my own personal experience, having worked in the nonprofit sector before, having served on many boards and having volunteered with many community organizations, I can tell you that it is tremendously rewarding to give to someone in need or to help support causes that improve our communities. As Secretary Green mentioned, we all live busy lives and we're often consumed by the day-to-day challenges we face, even though our hearts are in the right place and we want to give back. But that's one of the things that I think is so great about the Maryland Charity Campaign. MCC really makes it effortless and easy to give to the most important causes to each of us. And as we stated before, there are over 900 charities participating that we can choose from. So by visiting mcc.maryland.gov and with just a few clicks of a button, you can help someone in need. It's really that easy. And when you give, you have several choices on how you give, either through a one-time electronic donation, or you can easily give through a payroll or pension deduction. I find that the payroll and pension deductions are the easiest way to give with minimal impact. They're also the most impactful way to give. But no matter how you give or how much you give, you will be making a difference. And with all that's going on in the world today, we know that the need is great, including right here in Maryland. We intentionally chose the theme Mountain to Shore, Maryland Strong, to emphasize that MCC benefits Marylanders across our state, and we're stronger when we are supporting one another. So we're asking you to find a cause that speaks to you or lifts up those in your community, log on to the website and make your pledge today. And with that, I want to say thank you for your service to our state, and thank you in advance for supporting Maryland's charities. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Lori.
And Laura, you also are muted. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you guys are tough acts to follow. So thank you, Secretary Green. Thank you, Secretary Hadaway-Riccio. It's an honor to serve with you on the Maryland Charity Campaign. So far, you guys have heard from many people about the details of this year's MCC and why it's important to give. However, there is another reason. That is because every single week of the campaign this year, we are holding random drawings, and we're sure that you're going to love the prizes. In fact, in addition to overnight hotel stays, gift cards, certificates, we're giving away money. $500, $1,000, and a $1,500 gift card. Who couldn't use that with the holidays coming? To be eligible for any of these prizes, all you have to do is give or pledge any amount, and you'll be placed into the drawing. Once you pledge or donate, your name is automatically entered, and you'll remain eligible to draw for the drawing of a prize until you win or until the campaign closes in December. Every week, we randomly pull names for a winner, which will then be posted on our website. So give early, because the earlier you give, the more chances you have to win. I'm also excited to announce our first prize right now. Anyone who gives today is eligible to win one of 4 $50 gift cards. That's right. 4 people will be randomly chosen and have a chance to win a $50 gift card each. So go to the mcc.maryland.gov right now, give to a cause that you love for a chance to win $50. But if you don't win from today's drawing, remember, you're automatically already entered now until the end of the campaign or until you win. So there's no better time to do it than now. Now, I would like to give you some reasons why it's important to give to the MCC. First up, I would like to introduce Josh Wilson, who is the Executive Director for Farmers and Hunters Feeding the Hungry. The mission of Farmers and Hunters Feeding the Hungry is to put nutritious meat on the table for hungry children and families. They pay local butcher shops to process deer and livestock for the needy. So let me introduce Josh, who is one of our eligible participants in the campaign this year, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to start by saying it truly is an honor to share with this group. I just checked our records this morning and found that we've been an annual participant in the Maryland Charity Campaign now for 20 years. So for most of the lifespan of this organization, we have been participants in the campaign and have counted on the support of fellow generous Marylanders to help carry out our mission. So I would like to share my screen here, and I do substitute at times in the public schools, so I know this doesn't always work well, but I'm going to give this a shot so that I can share a few additional things with you. Okay, maybe somebody can let me know if you're seeing the first slide.
No,
No.
not yet, Josh.
Not yet? Oh, okay. It says Meet is sharing my screen. Maybe it's not going to work. That's
It's
fine.
Pretending you're
out,
Josh.
Josh. Oh,
Okay.
there you
So
go.
we'll go forward and it'll work the best that it will. So again, we're Farmers and Hunters Feeding the Hungry. I am the current executive director. The organization was founded by my dad, who's now 76 years old, Rick Wilson, and he's still active with us. He's part of our board. I'm going to share a little bit about him in a moment. Our mission: transforming a God-given renewable resource of deer and livestock into food for those in need. So how does it work? Well, basically, we're one of a number of Hunters for the Hungry organizations that exist across the country. So we rely on the generosity of hunters, again, from the mountain to the shore, literally, and they're in the field today. I'm sure deer are being donated right now as we're meeting to our butcher shops across the state. So we rely on the generosity of those hunters to take one of their legally harvested and tagged deer to a participating butcher shop. And those butchers are contracted then to work with us at a discounted rate to process the meat into packages that are frozen and then distributed free of charge to charities like food banks, soup kitchens, rescue missions across our great state. We rely on financial support from individuals and donors like those in this campaign to help us pay those meat processing bills to get that meat to the charities. So how did it all begin? I mentioned my dad, Rick, who started the organization. Well, it was just about 25 years ago now that he was driving to one of the farms where we would hunt, and he saw a car stopped along the road in front of the church, pictured on the left, if you're still seeing the screen share. And so he stopped, which wasn't common for us. I would say my parents tended to be cautious, maybe overly cautious at times, of encountering people that they didn't know. But for some reason, he felt compelled to stop that day to see what the problem was. So he approached the lady that was along the road and asked if he could help. And she said, well, could you follow me off to the side of the road? I need your help with something. So he cautiously followed her, trusted God to lead him in this. And there laid a 6-point buck that someone had hit. And so he asked if she had hit it. She said, no, I'm fine. I saw it laying here and I would like to load it into the trunk. I need to take it home to feed my kids. They said, well, we need to get this tagged. We can't really move it without violating game law. In those days, it was a little different than it is now, a little stricter with roadkills. She said, well, I don't have time for that. It's still fresh. I need to get it home now. It's kind of like, are you going to help me or not? So he stopped with all the words. He helped her load the deer and she drove off. And the only thing he could think of, he was just really struck by the words from Jesus in the Bible in Matthew 25, where he says, when you have helped the least of these, the least fortunate among us, you have done it to me. And so he felt that God was compelling him in some way to do something further beyond just helping the lady load the roadkill deer into her trunk. So he went home, he talked with our pastor at the time, he talked with my mom, and together they worked out a plan and said, you know, there are some other programs around the country where hunters can donate. There's an organization that pays the processing bill, and then the meat goes to local charities. In fact, Virginia has one of the oldest programs like that. So he talked with one of the local butchers here in Clear Spring, Maryland. Together, he and another butcher here in the county joined Dad, and they started a program through our church. That year, I think they had about 70 deer donated. So it was a very successful first season, and they had donations to pay the processing bills, and it all worked out well. DNR, Wildlife Division, noticed the success of the program in a news article and called him to a meeting that next year and asked if he would attempt to replicate that success across the rest of the state with a program that they had been running that had been started some years prior that relied on the hunter to pay part of the processing bill, which can limit hunter participation. So he agreed to do that, and it worked out well. It spread across the state. Around that time, he partnered with different churches for distribution. One of them was Bethel AME in Baltimore, and I can remember going and volunteering there as well. And so there's a picture of one of those early visits to the soup kitchen, distributing the venison as part of a spaghetti meal. Since 1997, so 25 years ago, it began. It started in Washington County, grew across Maryland the following season, maybe 2 years after that. And then since that time, attracted attention from various individuals in other states. And we have been blessed to be able to have a presence at one time or another in 30 different states across the nation, working with volunteers and local butcher shops. Over that time, 5.5 million pounds donated, processed, and distributed to provide around 22 million servings of nutritious meat to the less fortunate. Currently, we have about 80 volunteers spread across 12 to 15 states and 120 participating local butcher shops. Now, that's across the country. How about here in Maryland? Last year, we had 39,000 pounds of meat donated to provide 156,000 servings across the state. Our butchers that participate with us, we know that they have the capacity to at least double that amount if the funding is available to pay them for processing the deer. And then last year, I looked up the stat, the Giving Through the Maryland Charity Campaign helped us process 12,000 of those servings, so a significant number for our organization. Hunger impacts about 1 in 11 Marylanders, including 1 in 8 children. An average deer can provide enough meat servings for 160 meals, so it's a significant number for each deer that's donated. And we can supply venison, this nutritious food item, to local food banks and ministries for just about $1.50 per pound. For comparison, a few weeks ago, we helped buy some meat from Walmart in Indiana through one of our local program areas. And the cost at that time was just over $5 a pound. And that's for those frozen packages of the high fat, 7327, I believe, or yeah, high fat content. And $5 a pound. It was astounding. So I looked today because I know, maybe things are a little better. Well, our local Walmart right here online, it's over $4 a pound to get just basic beef in a frozen package. And venison is so much more nutritious, right off of the land here in Maryland. Not as much concern about hormones and other things that end up in our food items. Just a great way to get locally sourced food to the hands of local people, to their plates, to their tables for just $1.50 a pound. So I believe I covered everything. I'm, again, Josh Wilson. You can learn more about us at feedingthehungry.org. We have a brand new website up, and we're just thankful to continue to be part of this great campaign and to do our part to help feed the needy from the mountains to the shore of Maryland. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. The next speaker we're having is Katie Blaha, Advanced Manager for Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. The Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum is dedicated to preserving and exploring the history, environment, and culture of the entire Chesapeake Bay region, making this resource available to all. Katie?
Good afternoon. Yes, hi. I'm Katie Blaha, and I'm the Advancement Manager here for CBMM, as mentioned. For those who don't know, the museum was founded in 1965, and it's located right here in the beautiful St. Michael's, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore, spanning 18 acres of property, including waterfront and a shipyard, which is very unique for a museum. We are a 4-star charity navigator institution as well. So we have a wonderful reputation when it comes to the charity world, and we also feel very strongly when it comes to our community partners. As you can see and tell already, this is not just a museum, it's more of an experience. Every time you come, you can truly tap into something different and some kind of different takeaway or activity within the season. We truly are a year-long operation, and every season looks different on campus. So I encourage you to come and visit during each season to really get a different taste of it. As I mentioned, we do the mission statement as mentioned above. How that looks takes on many different ways and shapes. So what does our mission look like for our work and our programs, our community, and our donations? So as mentioned, we have amazing community partners, and we are a community institution with strong profits to fellow nonprofits in the area, as well as local businesses, and more importantly, educational partners. One of the programs that I'm really proud of it's a newer operation that we started is the Rising Tide program. And that was something that the museum had heard and saw a need for the kids in our community. We partnered with local schools and local neighborhoods, and now we offer for kids through 6th through 9th grade a free after-school program where they can come after school and they can meet with other children their age and peer groups, as well as our own team. And that's where they really learn skill sets such as woodworking, boat building, and in a relaxed environment. That's not school, but it gives them something to do so they don't necessarily have to go home. If their parents need childcare, this is that. It's awesome because it really inspires our kids in the community and our children to develop a sense of self-confidence and pride, and certainly facilitate mentorships, since you do have a long range of ages, and even our own team members here who work on it, they really build incredible relationships with these children along the way, and provide them guidance and support. Students of the program are encouraged to become more academically prepared to achieve long-term success, whether it's a college track or a vocational emphasis. They walk away having skills in mathematics, engineering, team building, project management. It's truly incredible, and it really says just how valuable those skill sets are as they look to pursue different careers. And the hope is, we'd love to see the full cycle complete. We also have an apprenticeship program that we offer down the road where very similarly people can apply for, and then they're here on our shipyard to learn the skill sets, the trades for shipbuilding, for woodwork, that they can then take away as a career, life building, a life ready skill, and put towards a career either here or elsewhere as we partner with other institutions where we see needs for. So we really put an emphasis on skill set building, mentorship, offering the children in our community opportunities to do positive, proactive activities after school, and just continue that. It actually does go through 10th grade and 11th grade, and we have an application process for that. So I think it's an incredible testament to the museum to be able to look to opportunities to really engage with our neighbors, the underserved communities as well. Again, this is a free program, so it's an incredibly important funded opportunity. And more recently, we do actually see scholarships available for some of our summer camps. Rising Tide then continues in the summer, and we also offer additional summer camps throughout the season. So children can continue to have those opportunities to come to campus, to engage, to learn how to fish, to learn how to do the woodworking, the kayaking. Most recently, our Rising Tide program built stand-up paddleboards out of wood, and they get to see it come to life. And what was really cool was that we actually we auctioned it off at one of our events for almost $12,000 because our donors were just so blown away by that the children came together to do this, and they saw the value and where their money went. We do have about 5,000 members. We are a membership-based organization. Of course, membership dues don't cover, day-to-day operations and operating costs. So our annual fund is critical to our mission and to continue that success for these programs like the Rising Tide program. We look to the future, and we look to, of course, we want it to be even more expansive and to grow and to be more inclusive. So that means offering buses to other neighborhoods for other children to have that same opportunity. And again, those are sponsorship opportunities. Those are funding opportunities that we really look to our community members, individuals, and companies to help us support and back so we can continue to offer these programs. Outside of the different opportunities we have for the children, we also have amazing opportunities for adult programming. So what does that mean? It's a speaker series, it's videos, it's having culinary chefs of Maryland come to campus and speak to just the cuisine of the Maryland shore and the sustainability of it all. We have lots of wonderful hands-on opportunities for grown-ups. Just this month, we'll have a really cool cast iron pouring opportunity for people to come out and learn how it works and what it looks like, and stand around a cauldron and learn a little bit more about past siren world, which is very interesting. We also offer field trips for colleges and schools. We offer opportunities for overnights at our lighthouse on campus, which is very, very unique. Schools and Boy Scouts or whatever groups or private events can come to the lighthouse and probably have the worst sleep of their life, but get to learn a little bit about what it meant to be like a lighthouse keeper back in the day and what it looked like, and to really have that hands-on experience and cook out there and be a part of the campus for a full day. Our goal is to truly collect, preserve, and display the nation's most comprehensive assembly of material relating to the Tidewater region. We have over 70,000 artifacts in our collection, and we actually are in the middle of a very exciting growth opportunity where next fall we will be expanding and offering a new welcome center here on campus where exhibitions can live. That allows us the opportunity to expand our exhibitions, to have better storage for it, and to really tell the stories of the Chesapeake in a way that's thoughtful, that's all inclusive, especially as we certainly look touching on inclusivity to allow for more to attend our programs, our camps, and our museum on a day-to-day basis. We have an incredible exhibition space as we prepare to open it. So I definitely encourage everyone, if they can, to come visit next year and see the tremendous growth we have ahead. We have extreme gratitude to our donors and continued gratitude to their support that has allowed us to continue the preservation, the exploration, the growth, and just the maintaining of traditions, which is so important too at the root of all of that, what we do and all the growth and change. We do hold tight to the traditions of it all here at CBMM. So thank you so much, and I look forward to fielding any questions if you ever have any, and certainly invite everyone to come and visit. Beautiful St. Michael's this time of year is lovely, and certainly thank you all for your support in advance.
Thank you, Katie. And now for our final speaker, Jennifer Graham, who is the Director of Development and Community Engagement from Project Place, which stands for People Lacking Ample Shelter and Employment. Project Place provides homeless citizens with food, housing, and a full spectrum of services vital to achieving stability. Jennifer?
Thank you very much. Hopefully everyone can hear me very well.
Yes.
On behalf of the men, women, and their extended families that we serve at Project Place, I want to thank you for extending us the invitation to be here. We at Project Place have been around serving Maryland and the Baltimore County since 1974. We started off serving those who are living with HIV and AIDS back when it was an unknown pandemic, and have since broadened out to serve every crisis that has hit our nation since then. Lately, we have been serving a majority of individuals who are veterans, who have been suffering from PTSD, as well as those who have been suffering through the opioid epidemic. We serve on average 1,500 individuals annually. From the latest point in time count that was done, the census that was done through Baltimore City, there is on average in one night 1,562 individuals who are without shelter. In that sense, we are touching each one of those individuals at least one night a year. We have been serving the men and women of Baltimore City and County for a very long time, and we hope that the donations that we receive today, as well as throughout the year, will go to benefit them. The individuals that come to our shelter arrive first at our temporary housing. We are not an overnight shelter, we are temporary housing. And from there, within 3 to 4 months, we are able to place them in permanent housing. That is permanent housing that is capable through the donations that you provide to us. While they are under our roof, we are helping them solidify their lives to get them back on their healthy trajectory, to engage them with doctors, to engage them with psychological care if that's necessary, to get them back on medication, even to help them provide their own personal identification back again. Many of our individuals who have been on the streets for years on end have nothing in their pockets, not even a wallet that shows who they are. We at Project Place have a staff here of under 70 individuals who are doing this work day in and day out. Even during COVID, we never shut our doors. We've been here through every epidemic and pandemic and illness that has come across the desk, and we're still serving everyone very strongly. If I can, I'm going to share a video, just sharing a couple of the testimonials, if I may. Hopefully it'll go through. Let me just see. Screen. No, it says your entire screen, but that's not the one. Let me see if that'll do it. Let me know if you can see my screen. No. Let me see. Share. Can you see it now?
No, Jennifer. Try sharing your entire screen.
No. That's what I have. Yeah. I apologize for the. Let me just see. I'm going to stop and try it again. I apologize for. Google is always a little funny about these things. All right. It says that I should be sharing it. Can you see it now?
No.
No, not yet.
Okay. That is quite fun. Okay, so I won't waste any time with that. The testimonials we have 3 individuals who are sharing their personal stories with us. One gentleman had been actually living out on the streets for 10 years, living in a tent, until his brother actually, who had put out a search through the police, had actually been able to locate him and was able to find him and bring him to our shelter. We were able to work with him and a series of individuals. Up, it says I'm presenting a screen, so that's wonderful. Maybe it'll pull it up. Let's see if it'll do it. Do you see my video yet?
I'm sorry, no.
It says it's there. I don't know why
No, it's frustrating. What you might want to do is just cut and paste the link into the chat, and then at least people can go to the link and see it. You might try that.
I could hear it, but I can't see it. Okay, let me pause that. Okay. That's a very good idea. Thank you very much. I will make sure we do that. In the meantime, I'm going to stop presenting on that so that way you can see my face. So through the variety of programs we have a series of programs that serve individuals who are veterans. We have programs that serve individuals with HIV and AIDS. We have programs that are there to assist individuals who are actually housed, but are looking to maintain their homes. And so we have a renter's assistance program, as well as a variety of support services, such as our food pantry that is open every week. We have a diaper service for young parents or any parent really who needs any assistance to have diapers for their child. As anyone who's ever had a child before, you know the expense of how much diapers cost. And through partnerships with local programs, we're able to provide free diapers and formula as well as clothing for all of our children that we are able to serve. In addition, we also have a clothing closet that is from individuals who come to us, they donate their used clothing, we wash them, make sure they are of high quality, and offer them back to the community free of charge. We do not charge for any of these services. And when an individual has been under our roof for the small amount of time that they are, we make sure that they are fully prepared when they go into a permanent housing situation. Not only are we helping them with their rent, but we also provide to them what we call our new home box. And within that new home box, we are providing for them dishes, pots and pans, silverware, cleaning supplies, linens, pillows for their bed so that they can have a nice secure thing. And we have partnered up with the Baltimore Furniture Bank to also help them with furnishings for their apartment free of charge. That way they could have a startup savings of at least $5,000. That way they have to go into their apartment free and clear without any overhead expenses that are going to be due to them except for their rent. And that is usually subsidized through a certificate program. The donations that we receive from individuals as well as our volunteer services go a long way. We're able to help our individuals who are under our roof learn how to use a computer, work on their resume, find an appropriate outfit for interviewing, have food to put on their table for their families, and so much more. It's through those donations that we receive here from individuals like yourselves that keep our lights going and open the doors to end homelessness. So on behalf of those we serve, my name is Jennifer Castellanos-Graham. I serve Project Place, and we thank you for the time you have offered today.
Thank you, Jennifer. Well, now it is time to wrap things up. So by now you've heard all about the MCC and how you can help these charities in need. Just one final reminder, please don't forget to give today to have a chance to win $50. 4 people will randomly be selected. You have until 11:59 tonight to donate. Check out the website, mcc.maryland.gov. Click Give Now to get started. So now I would like to turn it back.
Can I ask a question?
I would like to turn it back over to Kathy Smith.
Thanks so much, Lori. So as we bring our event to a close, I'll leave you with this thought. I really found Baltimore native Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, who once said, none of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns, bent down and helped us pick up our boots. Likewise, all 927 charities in this year's MCC will realize their mission because of every single donor who opens their wallets and hearts to help others up. The urgency is unquestionable. Donors are desperately needed to help charities to lift others up. From Mountain to Strong, we are Maryland Strong. Will you donate at least $2 a pay? And if you can afford more like I can, will you be like that woman in scripture who gave from her substance to help the poor? So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing your time, your talent, and your treasure so generously with the MCC. And thank you for choosing to serve as a public servant to attend to the needs of our citizens across Maryland. This draws the 2022 MCC to a close. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know there are a few questions, so I promise you, Lori and I will hang on if you have any questions, but we'll close out the campaign at this point. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a terrific day. Take good care.
Hi, I have a question. The site is saying denied